so that we may interact with the word of God. Genesis chapter 50 verses 20. Chairman, nitumie hii saa ama nitumie hii? Ndio nijue time ya kumaliza. Which one do I use? Oh, nyinyi ndio chairman. Oh, nitumie hii. All right, this one. So I have at least like 15 to 20 minutes. Are we ready to read? Together. You intended to harm, but God intended it for good. Accomplish what is now done, the saving of many. Verse 21. So then, don't be afraid. I will provide for you and your children. And he sent them and spoke kindly to them. I want you to just look at that neighbor and tell your neighbor, imagine life without negative admirers. Tell your neighbor, imagine life bila watu wanakuchukia. Can you imagine such life, without people who do not admire you negatively, without people that do not hate you for nothing? Imagine that life. It could be very boring. It could be very, very boring, isn't it? Now tell your neighbor, those who admired you negatively many years ago, they might have left a hurting in you, but they made you better. Look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor, kama munanichukia leo, you are actually making me better for tomorrow. I'll give your neighbor high 10 and tell your neighbor, it is beautiful to have every other admirer. Amen. Whether negative, whether positive, it is okay. It is, by the way, it is okay to be loved. It is okay to be hated. It is still okay. Actually, it will be very, very bad if 100% loves you without a single percentage that hates you. Now, I want us to learn today 4 reasons why it is important to let go. Are you willing to learn? Now look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor, be attentive, for you need to be better rather than being bitter. Now appreciate yourself as you get seated. Appreciate yourself as you get seated. When we look at the life of Joseph, I want to assume that most of us now know me. I have been so regular to this church, but because of the visitor that I saw, my name is Peter Joroge Wawagoi. By the grace of God, I'm serving in this diocese, the church called St. Joseph of Arimathea. It is in Uthiru, Kofu, and we bless the Lord for his goodness and grace. Today is our choir Sunday. That is why I was able to excuse myself and come here. When you think about the hurts, the pains, the struggles that you have experienced in life, I want you to focus on verses number 20 of this story that you have been reading in the whole month of June. Verse 20. And I want you to satisfy your mind and your spirit by saying, it was only a making. Are we together? It was a making. In life, many are the lessons that we learn. And I want you to go back to the class that you were in primary school, in high school. If you are graced to be in a college or a university, there were so many lessons that you had to go through. But it is not every other lesson that you enjoyed. It is not every other lesson that you understood easily. It is not every lesson that was flowing like every other lesson. True or false? I think maybe 80% of us we did not like the mathematic teachers. For nothing, isn't it? Because I think we perceived that mathematics was so difficult. When we went to high school, I don't know how it happened this way, that the physics teachers and the chemistry teachers were coming in the afternoon and they were given double lessons. It was never kind. It was never kind. After Ugari and Getheri, then the physics teacher would come And I don't know, the physics teachers were just very bright. They did come to class with books. They just came studying, and they would start talking, and you just find a way what to capture when they are talking. Do you remember those days? And the physics teachers were easy to deal with, and they were never entertaining. And the chemistry teachers. And those lessons were never easy. But for you to get a B plus, a C plus, an A, a D, all the lessons had a performance that was expected, right? And you had to perform at a certain par for you to be qualified an A student, a B student, a C student. Whether you liked a certain subject or you didn't like it, you had to attempt to each, so that at the end of the day, the mini grade will meet at some point. That shaped the who you are today, the life that you went through in class. It shaped the who you are today. Now look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor. You are the product of who you are in a primary school. Mwangalie macho kwa macho, mwambie vile unakaa ni vile ulichukia mwalimu wa hesabu. Vile uko siku ya leo ni vile ulichukia mwalimu wa chemistry. Kama ungempenda wakati huo, maybe you would have been a better person in life. But nevertheless, that is the bygone. We are not going back to primary school. We are not going back to high school. We are not going back to college. If you are in college, maybe you can change your attitude. But that is how life is wired. There are people who are in your life that came as chemistry teachers. They critique anything that you do. They hate you for nothing. And they have caused you anxiety, bitterness, regrets in life. Unfortunately, when devil wants to light fire in your life, he doesn't lighten a fire that is so far away from you. And you realize the hurts and the pains that you are experiencing or encountering in life, it was caused by a so close person in your life. Perceivingly, it is from a relative that caused that pain and hurt in your life. A person who mattered so much into your life. A person who you trusted so much. A person who you gave your all. And they ended up hurting you. Kindly talk to your neighbor and tell your neighbor it was only a making. I talk to your neighbor, tell your neighbor it was only a making. I want you to pause back and see that person who caused you a pain, a struggle, an anxiety, a hurting issue. Pause back and look. After all is said and done, you learned a lesson. True or false? You learned a lesson. And you became more wiser than how you were before they did it. That is the story of Joseph. The brothers who were so close, they shared blood. They shared the same DNA. The brothers who meant to support him, they admired him negatively because Joseph was favored, and they hated him for nothing, and they plotted harm against him. Many years later, because Joseph took the making in a positive way, he treated it in a better way. They were in need of his help. Because he took it well, the making gave beautiful results. And this is the paradox of today. How do you take it? Because it will end up into a beautiful result, into a beautiful product you, or a negative result, a bitter product of you. And so many other people are living every other day-to-day life carrying grudges and pain because of people who hurt them, who are also progressing. And God intended it for you to be better, a beautiful soul, a beautiful product, but you never took it positively. Instead of being better, you've been living a bitter life. The process of making is the whole paradox. Because God will not only use the languages teacher, the people who understand you, the people who make it easy for you, the people who make it beautiful for you, he will not only use those people, he will also allow those who pull you down, those who hurt you, those who rebuke you for nothing, those who rumor gossip about you, but it is still a making. At the end of the day, it is you as a person who choose how to see it. It is you as a person who choose how to treat it. It is you as a person who choose how to deal with it. I remember one time that I was preaching here. I think I was an evangelist when Mathenge was here as an evangelist, and I told you that one of a very close person in my life, very close person, to today is a very close person. They sat one evening as a family, the mother, the daughter, the brother, the other sister, and the father. And they plotted a thing that was so painful. I was a godparent to a granddaughter in that family. And they sat together and plotted and schemed a very wonderful story that favored them, that was so sweet for them. And they said, I have raped their daughter of 3 years. And they took every other document that was needed for me to be in jail. There was a doctor's confirmation. There was a good, well-prepared report. The Kagar was coached how to say how it happened. And let me tell you, brothers and sisters, on a very dark Saturday, 11th January, year 2011, I found myself in chain, headed to jail. Almost there when the OB is being booked, the policeman who was booking the OB says, I want a different report from a public facility doctor other than a private facility doctor. And now the public facility doctor requested that the Kagar may be brought for that check, and so that the doctor would write a report understanding what he is writing. Now when the Kagar was brought, the mother was excused out, the grandmother was excused out, and the Kagar was with the doctor. And when the doctor was doing the verification, she asked the Kagar, I want you to tell the truth about the whole story, what happened with your uncle. This is a girl who calls me an uncle. And Kagar says, Shoshona mami waliniambia niseme ABCD. And that is when the report changed from a rapist to somebody amewekelewa kigenyo. The whole story is not there. Now, I was released because of the report of the Kagar, and the doctor says that nothing that has been done to the girl. Now we went home. This is a family affair. These are my cousins, this is my auntie, this is my uncle. And I said to them, because I am a born-again Christian, I am an evangelist serving at Kirienye, I told them, I wish to forgive you. And they said, do not forgive us rapists. We will make sure that you will pay the cost of this pain that you have caused us. So they exaggerated and they accelerated the issue. In my heart, I told them, wherever you go, however you choose to go about it, in my heart, I have set you free. It was not easy. It was painful. I was only 9 months married. This is my marriage being attacked. This is my ministry being attacked. And it is my closest buddy cousin who is doing it. My wife was so bitter. So bitter that she's telling me, let us do a revenge for this. Let us go to extent like, how would they do this? Let us go our own way of revenging. And I said, take it easy, because God is aware of everything that is happening. So years went, and years went, and years went. I realized at some point when I met with my cousin and said hi and she could not respond to me, I think I am accumulating some bitterness because of the kind of treat they are saying because of an accusation that was not there. I realized I'm developing some bitterness. Look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor. Now talk to your neighbor, tell your neighbor. People would cause you bitterness for nothing. You know, ushaisalimia mtu na hakusalimiki. How do you feel? Mtu anakuonyesha attitude, akona attitude za ufara, haujui ni nini mlifanyana. Hawaangalia tu na like they size you, they just look at you just because of who you are or because of how God has created you. They just look at you. And let me tell you, when I realized my cousin is becoming stubborn and they want to respond to me, you nani digosoka kugeithania. Nikituragianira. Kanua nigakwa geithine ciakwa matane makwa ni urathumbura gitigana na geithi. And we lived a life of no high, no high, no high, no high. But in my heart, I realized a year later, in the year 2015, I decided I would approach my uncle and my auntie and we have this conversation. And I told them, I think we are accumulating some serious bitterness. The girl who was 3 years in 2011 is now a grown-up girl. She is still my niece. Hii ufara tunaendelea nayo haitusaidii. And I told them, I have come because I want us to make peace. And they said they are not ready for peace. And I told them, if you are not ready for peace, let me tell you, I will never be a rapist because you called me a rapist. I have never raped. I will never rape. I will never. My marriage will not come down because you want to bring it down. It will not. And I told them, now because you do not want peace, I leave you to the hands of God who gives peace. And I choose peace. And let me tell you, that is when I realized unforgiveness is a prison that keeps you in hostage, and you want to release a prisoner out of the hostage and then realize the prisoner was you. That is how I became free. And let me tell you, God took the work at his hands. The family struggled, suffered, lost things that they had until in 2018 when they came looking for me. I was serving in Uthiru then. They came looking for me. It was not the best thing. The story that had happened to them, it was not the best thing, but they actually came. And let me tell you, people of God, the moment we had a conversation together and they realized their mistake and I realized my power and authority, that when you bless others when they have done wrong unto you, it is door that you open on your way and they will enjoy seeing you grow from glory to glory, whether they like it or not, because God lays a table in front of your enemy. So the more the negative they admire us, the more the grace of you growing from glory to glory. So the battle does not belong to you, the battle belongs to the Lord. And it is possible when you let it go and you allow it to go, it is possible for you to increase when your enemies is still watching. One thing that can never stop, it is like they never stop God taking you to the destiny that you belong. But when you hold them, it is the chain that you tie that will stop you from getting to the destiny that you belong. If you now desire to get to the destiny that you belong, can you say, I am letting go? Can you say with confidence and say, I am letting go? If you desire to get to a destiny, then the willingness to let go, it is your authority to start making a step. It is the year 2018 that I was made a deacon, the same year when there was a conversation. Let me tell you, what kind of a preacher would I be if I never went through an accusation? What kind of a minister would I be if I never went through a certain story of being accused of a rape? Who would I be the destiny of a priest if I never experienced pain? Maybe today somebody would be coming with a story and I would be speaking of vengeance to them. But today I would tell them, leave it to God, let it go. God is a fighting warrior. He will fight for you. Look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor, neighbor, it was a making. I tell your neighbor, it was a making. Unajua kuna watu wako kwa ex-boyfriend na ex-girlfriend na they are married. Yesterday, we had a alumni school. We always have a alumni meeting. The schoolmates that we were with high school. And all of us were remembering our exes. Unajua munajifanyaga kama hamuna hata mapasi wako nao. We never added to the spouses that we are married to. Hata wewe wacha kujifanya. Si kuna ka story. kuigizwa box kutemwa, kuigizwa box kutemwa. Si uliigizwa box na ukatemwa? Abia mwenzako si wewe wa kwanza. Watu wameishi kutemwa na kutemana. Together, are we together? Now, one was very painful, mpaka we felt for him. Amedate mtu 6 years, and in their 7th year they are saying now we are going to settle down. And then it happens a retreat, yeah, youth. This guy misses the retreat. Wanaenda retreat mahali. Aromema tire idhero. Beshte yake anamcheza. In the same retreat wameenda, huyu boy ameachwa home sababu ni msik, alafu wanaenda retreat, demu yake anachezwa na beshte yake. So akichezwa, the same night alimplay, akamcheza. The same night that girl conceived. In their 6th year of the relationship, wako mwaka wa 7 wanaanza kusema turathi udhoni kiundu gigikika. Asikia neighbor, nikiri kugia kikire gwaku, nikigani kilifanyika? And you're still stuck in the boyfriend who left you. You're still stuck with the girlfriend who left you. You're still stuck. By the way, most of the women wanabafuriwagwa kwa relationship na madema beshte wao. Let me say that in English if I can. Most of the women are taken out of a relationship by the friends women who are friends to their boyfriend. Ukatorewa kwa relationship. You still hold that woman who came and took over after you and enjoyed the relationship after you. You still stuck there. You still stuck in a family. You got married and the whole family never loved you. It is only your husband who loves you. You stuck there. They hated you for nothing and you're still stuck there. 10 years in marriage, 5 years in marriage, how many years in marriage, but you're still stuck in those people who never wanted you, who never loves you. You're still stuck there. You're still stuck in a personal grudge. Things that you tried, they never worked, and you have never forgiven yourself. You're still stuck in a silly mistake that you made in your life. A silly mistake that you made. And you made it, and it happened. It is in the past, and you're still stuck. Can you ask your neighbor, where are you stuck? And let me tell you, people of God, we all learn from history, but we do not stay in history. And the 29th of June, you need to say bye-bye to the history. Bye-bye to my past. I'm gonna pursue my future. Can I surprise you this morning and tell you, the people that know you, the people that surround you, the people that you're seated with you, they only know your story up to today. They do not know your future. It is only God who knows your story from today to the future that you belong. And I think you need to let the people off with the story they have about you, the relationship they know about you. You need to kick it off and concentrate with the God who knows your future. Now look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor. Talk to your neighbor, tell your neighbor. Now I know you know my story up to yesterday. Are we together? And do you know, whenever the devil wants to intimidate you, he intimidates you about the story that is already gone. Already gone. He blackmails you with a story that is already gone. Wakitaka kuspread wacha waspread. Kuna kitu hawajui kutoka leo. With the decision that you're gonna make, your tomorrow can be better than your yesterday. There is one that they do not know. By letting go, my tomorrow can be promising. Kenye munajua ni sawa, hiyo ni sawa munajua. But from today, I am writing a beautiful story, a beautiful version of me. I am awakening the lion inside me. I will not remain in your opinion. I will not remain in your story. I will not remain in your intimidations. I will move on. Can you tell your neighbor, moving on? Forgive yourself and let it go. Let the anxiety and the pain and the stories about your yesterday go. We all learn from history. You have learned enough lessons. Move on and let it go. When I understood that God lays a table in front of my enemy, That is when verse 20 of Genesis 50 became powerful. What the devil meant for evil, God meant it for good. What it was meant to destroy you, it was meant to make you. Do you know how powerful it is? That pain, use it to your advantage. It is a mistake that I will never repeat. I am stepping onto it to see my tomorrow. That mistake that happened yesterday, it is a lesson learned. I am better than how I started. I am stepping into it for a better tomorrow. Maybe today, I would not be a very good preacher and a good priest if I never went through that. If I had time, I would have given you a story of a woman who came to church in the verse 3. In the verse 3. Ka verse 3 ka church ya Kiria akakuja. Mama akanishika. Mama akanipiga hanga. Mayagai. Na nimora kionadeka mundu kanini. Mama akaanza kunipiga mamuju. Akaniambia, evangelist, if you are not doing it, I am going to shout. Nekuga hapo. Na chugene akadiki udukie nyumba kathutha kia wana. Nekuga hapo nitapiga duru. Ngimwira madam, usipige duru. Maya gai. Ona nie njuragia mweke toyo ugiuka thacigana. Na riu tondu were. The opportunity and the chance is here. You do not need to scream. But we cannot do this in a church office. Tukatoka kwa kipi. Story ni kwamba tunaenda mahali kutafuta kanyumba. Noe mwetuaga muraraga iguru mukaga guku thiraji. Maya ngai maundu maria tuonagio. Wakati tulitoka kwa gate. Kutoka kwa gate, ukitoka gate ya church, ulikuwa unaenda hivi ama hivi kwa madhitima. Kwa Chearede wa madha kulikuwa na hapa. Nikakimbia kwa Chearede. Nikaambia Chearede nimekuja kukunywa chai. Ndio thinete na kumakae. And let me tell you, if it worked in her version, then the story would have been different. Another thing that happened when I was in Karura, by the way, let me tell you, and I'm telling you this for the advantage of you letting go. We went for pastoral. Tukawa mama wanne na vijana wawili. I was the evangelist. One was kijana amenizidikisha, and other the 4 women. We went for a evening fellowship. Tumeenda fellowship, tumeenda. Wamama wamesalimia shosho wakiingia. Kijana akasalimia shosho akaingia. Mimi nikakwama nyuma kidogo, nilikuwa kwa simu, nikakuja nikasalimia shosho. Shosho akanishika kwa mkono. Akinyita wega. Shosho akigutha. Akinyita na maguru. Shosho akijira kijana. Leo lazima ufanye maneno. Shosho otari magego. Shosho otari ki magego. Ndio niguo ndamenire kinikiruo kinigi gikuruma kiru. Let me tell you, people of God, the only thing that saved me from the bitterness of this grandmother, it is the young man that we had gone pastoral with, because he had witnessed vile shosho amefanya, vile amenigudha, vile amesema na majina mengine ya Kikuyu alitumia. Otherwise, because it never happened, shosho started saying, huyu kijana ni shaitani. You know, hata wewe ukakuja hapo ukute shosho na kijana, ni nani mbaya? Shosho anakaa kufanya maneno kama hiyo. But do you know, it was a making. From the 3 years girl to every other story, it was a making. Today, I can speak of God who fights of the battle because the making in the process, he has been there. He never leaves you. He never forsakes you. I want you to start with your neighbor now. Kindly start with your neighbor and tell your neighbor. I'll tell your neighbor. In the making, willingness to let go is your power. we together? Whether they said sorry, let it go. Whether they are looking as if they are right and they carried their shoulders so high after wrongly accusing you, let it go. No matter how they hate you, you may feel as a loser when you are letting go. You may feel as a loser when you are forgiving them. You may feel as a loser when you are releasing them when they have not yet said sorry. It is not about you. It is about the Maker. He knows you by your pain. He knows you by your story. He knows you by your struggles. He knows you by your anxiety. Help me preach to your neighbor and look them eyeball to eyeball and ask your neighbor, where are you stuck today? Ask your neighbor, is it personal? Are we together? Ask your neighbor, are you willing to let it go? Are we together? Because when you're stuck, you never move on. You never move on. Whose life is in stagnation when you do not move on? Is it theirs or your life? How many are willing to let their life move on today? I want to decree and declare, where you are stuck, may those chains fall off in Jesus' name. Where you are stuck, may those chains be loosened in the name of Jesus. Where you are stuck, may the devil be a liar and a loser and receive your victory, receive your power, receive your authority to move on. I want to decree and declare, whether it is a chain of accusation, whether it is a chain of curse, whether it is a chain of oppression, it is loosening today. It is loosening on the 29th. Your tears are coming to an end. Your victory is beginning. Your anxiety is coming to an end. Your success is beginning. Your pain is coming to an end. Your story is being beautiful. Everything that is causing you stagnation and problems and anxiety and bitterness, we loosen its authority and mandate. Devil is a liar. Devil is a loser. Receive your success. Receive your victory. Receive your power. May you move on financially in the name of the Lord. May you move on spiritually in the name of the Lord. May you move on emotionally in the name of the Lord. May you move on from every pit hole they will drop you. Wapahali walikuweka in that pit hole. Can you open your mouth and say, this is my day? I declare with